Hello class, I thought I'd make a little screencast for you guys to help you with your Excel assignment number 2. In using the simulation, probably the biggest obstacle that students face in running the simulation is the ability to forecast their cells accurately. So what this template and this exercise is designed to do is help you understand how to forecast cells that will help you perform better in the simulation. So with this assignment, you need to make sure you start with a blank Excel workbook. You can help others, but you have to do your own work and your own typing on your own computer. So you're going to start with a blank Excel workbook. Now, we're going to give you some hypothetical growth rates to do this assignment, but in your own individual simulation, some of these growth rates may be slightly different. So this is just a hypothetical growth rate, and you need to set it up as a template so that when the growth rates do come in, the actual numbers, you can modify it, and it should do the calculations for you. So one of the easiest things that I found, instead of typing these in, because I'm not a very good typer, I like to actually just kind of copy and paste into a blank Excel workbook. So I'm just going to paste, and now I've got the hypothetical growth rates. And the reason why that works is because this is actually a table that I pasted in here in HTML format. So because it's an HTML format, it copies rather easily into Excel. So now I have the hypothetical growth rates, and if you don't like the whiteout here, you can actually do kind of a paste special, just the text, and it just does the text in each cell versus the whole table. Either way should be fine. Now in the simulation, we actually show you, or we tell you exactly how many customers there are going to be in a given round. So for instance, I'm looking at the round 0 fast track report, and I can see that there are 5,040,000 customers last round in the low-tech market segment, and I can see that next year it's going to grow by 9.6%. So I need to do the math to see how many customers there are going to be next year. So it's 5,040,000 customers. It didn't, let's see here, I'm gonna, oops, Control Z. Let me just format this a little bit differently. Oops. So 5,040,000 customers, and it's going to grow by 9.6%. So the way you do the growth on that is I'm just going to hit plus that number, and I'm going to come up and, oops, I did that one wrong, times the 9.6%. So I know that the 9.6% of 5,040,000 is 484,000, or 484. I'm just going to go ahead and talk in thousands from here on out. And I can take that plus that gives me the number of low-tech customers that will be buying products in round 1. And then I can do the same thing for the high-tech customers. High-tech customers around 0, there is 2,160. It's going to grow by 21%. Slightly different. It's just a hypothetical number, so I'm going to change that to 21, 2,160. And you know what? I'm kind of lazy. I'm just going to copy this down because I did all relative referencing. So I can see that this one's going to grow by 454, and that's my new number. Now there's also, if you remember in Math 108, there's a couple ways of calculating a growth rate. I'm going to do it slightly different, where I actually do this number times 1 plus the actual percentage. What that does, that actually is kind of a shortcut way of giving me this actual number without having to calculate the percentage and then add it. What I'm doing is basically adding it in this cell here, and it's all in one cell formula. So either way you do it, you get the same number. It just depends on how you want to show it. But for this assignment that we're doing, you'll probably want to do it the shortcut way just to get it right in one cell. Actually, maybe not. Maybe you want to do it that way. Now let's go back to the fast track reports, and you can see that if I'm running the Andrews Company, I'm going to scroll down to here to the actual and potential market shares. I like to look at this because it gives me a more accurate forecast. Up here it shows me that Able got 17% of the high-tech market segment. That's a rounded number. This is a little bit more accurate. It was more like 16.7. So if I know that last round I got 16.7%, I'm just going to do a quick copy so the formatting goes down. So this is my market share. 16.7 and 16.7. So that's what happened in round 0. Now going into round two, I know that there are that many customers for low tech and that many customers for high tech. If I wanted to forecast my sales into round one, and I assumed that nothing was going to change, everything was going to remain the same, I could take that number times that number, and it tells me what my total sales forecast would be for low tech, total sales forecast for high tech. I could then add these two numbers and come up with a total sales forecast of 1,359. That would be a forecast based if everything remained constant, nobody did anything. But we know our competitors are going to do things, and usually you would want to adjust your product to be either more of a low-tech product or a high-tech product. So maybe I'm going to make Able more attractive to the low-tech customers, and I think my market share is going to go up by 18.5%. And maybe because I'm doing that, I think my market share is going to go down to, say, I don't know, 10% of the high-tech. Now I have a revised sales forecast based on an estimated market share. That's misspelled. Based on an estimated market share for the low and the high-tech customers. This is extremely valuable as you're forecasting product because most of the students where they tend to make big errors is in their sales forecasting. So what this assignment is designed to do is to help you create a template to forecast sales for 3 different products. I think it says 3 products, at least 3 products, based on these hypothetical growth rates. So let me show you, this is how I would start doing it. But to make it look pretty, it ended up being this. So I kind of changed some of the tables and added some color to it. I know that these are going to be my input cells, so I highlighted them in yellow so that I know that I can go ahead and change these. Since this was a hypothetical template, I will change these as I'm running the rounds. And here's my round 0. I've got this many in low tech, this many in high tech. This was the round 0 numbers. And I had 16.7%, and that equals 1,200. And I can go back to my fast track report. So I'm going to come up here to the production schedule, and I can see that is exactly what I sold. Able sold 1,200 units. So I know that this template that I made for round 0 is accurate, and I like the way it looks. I formatted it nicely. So if I want to keep all this, I'm just going to copy. I'll hit Control-C, and then I'm going to come down and paste it right here, and then I'm going to start making some edits. This is actually for round 1. Now my market size, instead of, make this a little bit smaller so you can see it, market size is going to be, I'm going to say it's this number. My growth rate is actually going to be this number for round 1. Well, that didn't turn out correctly. Percentage, I like to have it to the 10th of a percent. And it's 20% for round 2. And that looks good. So now I've got this market size that shows me it's the, these are the different market sizes. I'm going to come back over to here to what I was checking on. I guess I never did the actual market size. 8137. Let's see, what did I do wrong here? Oh, I think I know what I did wrong. I think over here I've got the 21%, and it's actually 20%. Oh, actually over here, it needs to be 20%. Let's see, what do the instructions say? Instructions are actually 20%, so that one was correct. This one over here, I guess I had changed it to match with, anyways. So 8116, this one says 8116. So now I've got my total sales for, or the total market size, revised, the new market size going into round 1 for low tech and high tech in the total. And then right here, I've got my Able product, and it's going to, suppose it's supposed to 19% here, and it's going to drop down to 9%. Now I've got a new sales forecast. Suppose in round 1, I'm coming out with ACE. But ACE is only going to come out halfway during the year. Maybe ACE is only going to get maybe 4% of the high-tech market, and it's a high-tech product. Then I can forecast my products for ACE, and then it shows me a total forecast. So this forecast template you can set up that'll eventually allow you to forecast the total sales for Able, ACE, and Arrow. And in the assignment, go ahead and call it Able, ACE, and Arrow. And You'll need to do this for all 8 rounds and copy it down. And as you copy it down with these hypothetical growth rates, you'll be able to see how fast they grow and the final number for the low and the high-tech market segment. And then finally, what you'll need to do is submit your assignment here in iLearn, and then you will take an assessment. You take the assessment after you've done the template, because your assessment may say, assume in round 1 you have a 19% market shares forecast for Able in the low-tech market and a 9% sales forecast assumption for the high-tech market share. What would your total sales forecast be? So you'd input those 2 numbers, and then you'll answer the 1,152 would be the amount for the sales forecast that you would answer on the assessment. You will, if you set this up correctly, I can guarantee that this template will be helpful and necessary for you, especially go into the final exam, because you'll have different growth rates and different market sizes that you're dealing with. And if you have a template, it makes it much easier to just change some of the numbers and have it automatically calculate for you. All right, that is it. Good luck, and hopefully you'll do well in CAPSIM.